today we're going to count down the top 50 grossing movies of all time. Where does your favourite movie rank? Stick around to find out. These numbers do not take into account inflation, as these will be reviewed in a later video. So if you're new here and you don't want to miss out on that video, then why not smash both that like and subscribe button and hit that bell icon to be notified the next time I upload a review. Coming in at number 50, we have Disney's The Jungle Book, released on 15th of April 2016 and directed by Jon Favreau, starring the likes of Neil Sethi as Mowgli, Bill Murray as Baloo, and Ben Kingsley as Bagheera. We also see the likes of Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson and Christopher Walken. The movie grossed an impressive $966,550,000 at the box office and has a respectable IMDb rating of 7.6. Coming in at number 49, we have Disney's The Lion King, released on June 24th, 1994 and directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff, starring such characters as Matthew Broderick, Jeremy Irons and James Earl Jones. Grossing an impressive $968,480,000 and coming in with an IMDb rating of 8.5. That takes us to 48, and that's Despicable Me 2, released on the 3rd of July 2013, directed by Chris Renaud and Pierre Coffin, with lead characters such as Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig and Benjamin Bratt. The movie grossed an impressive $970,761,000 and has an IMDb rating of 7.3. That leads us on to number 47 and the first movie in the Harry Potter franchise, The Philosopher's Stone, released on November 16, 2001, directed by Chris Columbus, with lead characters such as Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint. The movie grossed an impressive $975,051,000 and is currently sitting with an IMDb rating of 7.6. The first movie to sneak into the $1 billion club is The Dark Knight, released on July 18th, 2008 and directed by Christopher Nolan, with lead actors such as Christian Bale, Michael Caine and the legend that was Heath Ledger. The movie grossed a staggering $1,004,934,000 and comes in with a exceptionally impressive IMDb rating of 9.0. Coming in at number 45, we have the first in the Hobbit series, An Unexpected Journey, released on December 14th, 2012 and directed by none other than Peter Jackson, with lead characters such as Martin Freeman, Ian McKellen and Richard Armitage. The movie grossed $1,021,103,000 and has an IMDb rating of 7.8. At 44, we have Disney's Zootopia, released on March 4th, 2016, directed by Byron Howard and Rich Moore, with actors such as Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman and Idris Elba. The movie grossed a staggering $1,023,784,000 and has an IMDb rating of 8.0. That leads us in nicely to number 43, Alice in Wonderland by Disney, released on March 5th, 2010 and directed by Tim Burton, with actors such as Johnny Depp, Mia Wasikowska and Helena Bonham Carter. The movie grossed a staggering $1,025,467,000 and has an IMDb rating only of 6.4. At number 42, we have the first in the Star Wars franchise, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, released on May 19th, 1999 and directed by the legendary George Lucas, with lead actors such as Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman. The movie grossed $1,027,044,000 but only comes in with an IMDb rating of 6.5. Coming in at number 41, we have the sequel to Finding Nemo. That's right, we have Disney Pixar's Finding Dory, released on June 17th, 2016, directed by Andrew Stanton and Angus MacLean, with Ellen DeGeneres, Albert Brooks and Ed O'Neill leading the show, grossing a $1,028,571,000 with an IMDb rating of 7.3. Before we go on to number 40, why don't you comment below and let us know what your favourite movie is? Has it already been? Is it on the list still to come? Who knows? But comment below and let us know. Kicking us off in the 40s, we have the legendary Jurassic Park. Released on June 11th, 1993 and directed by one of the greatest directors of all time, Steven Spielberg. We have lead cast such as Sam Neill, Laura Dern and the man himself, Jeff Goldblum. The movie grossed an impressive $1,029,939,000 and now sits with an IMDb rating of 8.1. Sitting at 39 in the all-time list, we have Despicable Me 3, released on June 30th, 2017, directed by Kyle Balder and Pierre Coffin. Lead actors such as Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig and Trey Parker. The movie grossed a $1,034,799,000, but currently sits with only a 6.3 IMDb rating. At 38, we have Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, released on May 20th, 2011, directed by Rob Marshall, with lead actors such as Johnny Depp, the lovely Penelope Cruz and Jeffrey Rush, with a gross income of $1,045,713,000 and an IMDb rating sitting at 6.6. Coming in at number 37, we have another Disney live-action remake with Aladdin, released on May 24th, 2019 and directed by Guy Ritchie. Lead actors such as Will Smith, Mina Mizzou and Naomi Scott. The movie grossed $1,050,693,000 and is currently sat with an IMDb rating of 7.0. At number 36, we have the first in Star Wars stories, Rogue One, released on December 16th, 2016, directed by Gareth Edwards, with lead actors such as Felicity Jones, Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk. The movie grossed an impressive $1,056,057,000 and is sat with a good and respectable IMDb rating of 7.8. 35 brings us another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Dead Man's Chest, released on July 7th, 2006 and directed by Gore Verbinski, starring Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. The movie grossed $1,066,179,000 and is sat with an IMDb rating of 7.3. At number 34, we have Disney Pixar's Toy Story 4, released on June 21st, 2019, directed by Josh Cooley, with lead characters such as Tom Hanks, Tim Allen and Annie Potts, grossing $1,066,969,000 and sat with an IMDb rating of 7.8. At number 33, we have number 3 in the franchise, Toy Story 3, released on June 18th, 2010, directed by Lee Ulrich, lead cast again starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen and Joan Cusack. This time the movie grossed $1,073,394,000 and has an even higher IMDb rating at 8.3. At number 32, we have another Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, released on December 20th, 2019, directed by J.J. Abrams, and lead cast such as Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver and John Boyega. The movie grossed a staggering $1,074,144,000, but is currently sat at only a 6.7 IMDb rating. Coming in at 31, we have The Joker, released on October 4th, 2019 and directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro and Zazie Beetz. Gross income of $1,074,241,000 and has an IMDb rating of 8.5. Next on the list at number 30, we have The Dark Knight Rises, released on July 20th, 2012, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Christian Bale, Gary Oldman and Tom Hardy, grossing $1,084,939,000 and coming in with an IMDb score of 8.4. Next up is number 29, and that's Transformers Age of Extinction. Released on 27th of June 2014 and directed by none other than Michael Bay, starring Mark Wahlberg, Stanley Tucci and Kelsey Grammer. Grossing $1.1 billion, but sitting with a low IMDb rating of 5.6. That brings us all the way to number 28 and our only Bond movie on the list, Skyfall. Released on November 9th, 2012 and directed by Sam Mendes. Starring Daniel Craig, Judi Dench and Javier Bardem. Grossing $1,108,561,000 and sitting at an impressive IMDb rating at 7.7. At 27 we have another Transformers movie and it's Dark of the Moon. Released on June 29th, 2011, directed again by none other than Michael Bay. Starring Shia LaBeouf, Josh Duhamel and Rosie Huntington. The movie grossed $1,123,794,000 and is currently sat with an IMDb rating of 6.2. Next on the cards at number 26 we have Captain Marvel. Released in March 8, 2019, director Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, starring Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. The movie grossed $1,128,274,000 and is currently sat with an IMDb rating of 6.9. Before we hit number 25, it's movie quiz time! And the question for today is, which movie was the first to ever beat the $1 billion mark at the box office? Why don't you comment below and let us know, and stick around till later in the review to find out who it was. That takes us halfway and takes us into number 25, and that's Spider-Man Far From Home. Released on July 2nd, 2019 and directed by John Watts. Starring Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson and Jake Gyllenhaal. The movie grossed $1,131,927,000 and is currently sat with a respectable IMDb rating of 7.5. That brings us in nicely to number 24, The Lord of the Rings Return of the King, third in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and released on December 17th, 2003. Directed by none other than Peter Jackson and starring Elijah Wood, Viggo Mortensen and Ian McKellen. Grossing $1,142,219,000 and sat at this staggering height of 8.9 on IMDb. In at 23 we head over to the DC Universe and we have Aquaman. Released on December 21st, 2018, directed by none other than James Wan, starring Jason Momoa, Amber Heard and William Dafoe. Grossing $1,148,161,000, sitting at an IMDb score of 7 on the door. Back with Marvel Studios at number 22 we have Captain America Civil War. Released on May 6, 2016 and directed by none other than the Russo brothers. Starring Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. and the ever delightful Scarlett Johansson. Grossing $1,153,304,000 and sitting at a 7.8 IMDb rating. All the way up at 21 we have The Little Yellow Men, we have The Minions. Released on July 10th, 2015, directed by Kyla Balder and Pierre Coffin, starring the ever so lovely Sandra Bullock, John Hamm and Michael Keaton. The movie was able to gross $1,159,368,000 and is sat at a 6.4 IMDb score. Now coming into the top 20, we have Iron Man 3, released on May 3rd, 2013 and directed by Shane Black, starring Robert Downey Jr., Guy Pearce and the delightful Gwyneth Paltrow. The movie grossed a solid $1,214,811,000 and is currently sat with an IMDb score of 7.2. Coming into solid 19th position we have The Fate of the Furious. Released on April 14th, 2017, directed by F. Gary Gray, starring the legendary Van Diesel, Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson. The movie grossed $1,238,764,000, but is sat with only a 6.7 IMDb score. In at 18, we have none other than The Incredibles 2, released on June 15th, 2018 and directed by Brad Bird, starring Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter and Sarah Vowell. The movie grossed an impressive $1,242,805,000 and scores an IMDb rating of 7.6. Coming in at number 17, we have Disney's new release of Beauty and the Beast, released on March 17, 2017 and directed by Bill Condon, starring the delightful Emma Watson, Dan Stevens and Luke Evans, with a much greater cast behind this as well. The movie went on to gross $1,263,521,000 and is currently sat with an IMDb rating of 7.1. As we're not able to let it go, at number 16 we have Disney's Frozen, released on November 27th, 2013, directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, starring Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel and Jonathan Groff. The movie settled in at a complete $1,290,000,000 and is now sat with an IMDb score of 7.4. And as they like to say, we'll never be able to let this one go, that's for sure. All in at number 15, we have another Dino World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, released on June 22nd, 2018, directed by J.A. Bayona, and starring the man himself, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard and Rafe Spall. The movie grossed a solid $1,309,484,000, but is sat with only a 6.2 rating on IMDb. Coming in at number 14, we have another in the Star Wars franchise, The Last Jedi, released on December 15th, 2017 and directed by Rian Johnson, starring Daisy Ridley, John Boyega and the man himself, Mark Hamill. The movie grossed an impressive $1,332,539,000, but rather low for a Star Wars movie, sitting at an IMDb score of 7.0. All the way in at number 13, we have the final Harry Potter movie, The Deathly Hallows, Part 2. The movie was released on July 15th, 2011 and was directed by David Yates, starring, you guessed it, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint. This time the movie grossed an impressive $1,341,693,000 and is sat a very creditable IMDb score of 8.1. Taking the number 12th spot, we have another Marvel movie, that is Black Panther, released in February 2018 and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan and Lupita Nyong'o. The movie grossed an exceptional $1,346,913,000 and is now sat at an IMDb score of 7.3. At number 11, we have another Marvel movie, this time Avengers Age of Ultron, released on May 1st, 2015 and directed by Joss Whedon, again starring the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo. This time the movie grossed $1,402,805,000, coming in at a 7.3 IMDb score. Before we hit the top 10, we had one question. What was the first movie to ever gross $1 billion at the box office? Well, I can tell you it was Titanic, which on March 1st, 1998 became the first movie to gross over $1 billion worldwide, and that was in just 74 days. Titanic's not been on the list yet. Keep an eye out to see where she lies. That brings us directly into the top 10, and as we said, we couldn't let it go. Hence the review, and now we have Disney Frozen 2, released on November 22nd, 2019, directed again by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, starring, you guessed it, Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel, who won't let it go, and Josh Gad. This time the movie grossed a staggering $1,450,026,000, but only sat with an IMDb score of 7 on the door this time. Now into single digits, we're in at number 9, and that's Fast and Furious 7. Directed by James Wan, starring Vin Diesel, Paul Walker and Dwayne Johnson. This time the movie grossed $1,516,048,000, sitting at a 7.2 IMDb score. Coming in at number 8, we have another Marvel movie. This time we have The Avengers, released on the 4th of May 2012 and directed by Joss Whedon, starring, you guessed it, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. The movie grossed a impressive $1,518,813,000 and sits with an IMDb rating of 8.0. Coming in at number 7, we have the second movie of this name, Disney's The Lion King. This is the live-action remake, released on July 19th, 2019, directed by Jon Favreau, starring Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, and even Beyoncé. The movie grossed $1,656,943,000, but is very low on the IMDb score, currently sitting at 6.9. That brings us in at number 6, and it's another dino release with Jurassic World, released on June 12th, 2015, directed by none other than Colin Trevorrow, starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard and Ty Simpkins. The movie grossed a staggering $1,671,713,000, and the movie scored a solid 7.0 on the IMDb rating. I must admit, guys, everyone must have loved the return of the dinosaurs. This now brings us into the top 5. So far we have had some absolutely amazing movies, but the top 5 is where the big money lies, taking us into the $2 billion clubs, and kicking us off is Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. Released on April 27th, 2018, directed once again by the Russo brothers, starring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo. Grossing at the box office $2,048,359,000 and sitting at a very impressive IMDb score of 8.5. Coming in at number 4, we have Star Wars The Force Awakens, the 7th in the Star Wars trilogy, and released on December 18th, 2015. It was J.J. Abrams who directed, and we had a new cast starring Daisy Ridley, John Boyega and Oscar Isaac. Not only this, we saw the return of Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, and Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. The movie grossed $2,068,223,000 and is now sat with an incredible IMDb score of 7.9. At number 3, we have the movie that was the first to ever hit $1 billion at the box office. That's right, we have Titanic, released on December 19th, 1997, directed by the amazing James Cameron and starred none other than Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet and Billy Zane. In the end, the movie grossed a staggering $2,194,439,000, and even to this day sat with an IMDb score of 7.8. This movie was legendary at the time of its release, and even to this day it is beloved by many. After the Titanic, it took a staggering 12 years to shift the movie at top of the number 1 all-time box office list, and that was done through the amazing graphics and design of Avatar, directed yet again by James Cameron, same as the Titanic, and released on the December 18th, 2009. The movie saw the cast of Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana and Sigourney Weaver. This movie grossed a unprecedented $2,790,439,000 and is now sat with an IMDb score of 7.8. This movie was unprecedented when it was released. The visuals were stunning, and even today they are stunning. We are just waiting for those other Avatar movies, but don't worry, they are in the works, and we'll see them soon, won't we, James Cameron? But before we come to number 1, why don't you do me a big favour if you enjoyed listening to this video so far and smash both that bell icon and hit that subscribe button to be notified every time I upload a new video. Your support is massively appreciated. And that leads me in to our number 1 spot. That's right guys, we have The Avengers Endgame by Marvel Studios. This movie was again released on April 26, 2019, directed by the Russo brothers, again starring such actors as Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo. This time the movie grossed a superbulous $2,797,800,000. This movie has been unprecedented, $2.8 billion nearly. What can I say? Absolutely incredible. And the fans thought so as well, because we have a rating on IMDb to this day of 8.4. What a movie and what a franchise. I must admit guys, this movie was the pinnacle of the Marvel series. Absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, why not? You need to go watch this movie right after this review. And that rounds out the top 50 grossing movies of all time. Which was your favourite movie? There is so many amazing movies here. Oh, they are so fantastic. I absolutely love so many of these. But what about you guys? Why don't you comment below and let me know which was your favourite movie. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next countdown. Take care.